Hello people of YouTube, it's your boy Skinny Penis with the follow-up to the GK after we suffered greatly in it and sucked giga dick. We're now playing Preussen, which in my opinion is definitely like straight up the better alternative to GK because it gets the 30mm overmatch. It gets even faster reload, obviously at the cost of a lower shell count. You miss 4 shells, but you do reload faster. So main gun Preussen overall more viable than GK. That's just how impactful overmatch is these days. I mean, having the option of fucking all the cruisers that you couldn't in GK, and you can now randomly point and click them, is definitely an added bonus. Spec-wise, we're running the exact same. We're going into it between the battles anyway. But I personally pretty much enjoy Preußen, really. Given me playing in a division, like solo gameplay in Preußen is still extremely wonky most of the times, so you don't really want to do that one. Um, it's the same hull as GK, so all the problems I mentioned with GK and it having the issue of eating dick from every single angle is the same with Preußen, though you have, if I remember correctly, a bit better, or your gun angles are a wee bit better on Preußen. I think the kite ones specifically. So I guess if you run a secondary spec or a hybrid spec, whatever, Preußen is better for that too. Also, just because cruisers with 30mm armor couldn't just randomly run at you. They do drop a lot of HP if they do so. They might actually get themselves one shot. Like, you can get double, triple sits on angled Des Moines, that's not a problem. It's just very unlikely because the consistency is lacking too. Like on GK, like the dispersion isn't the best, even if you have a full gun spec, and only the reload makes up for it. It's kind of the reason why you want to play it. So what I'm doing here is I'm going towards the islands. I also have Brisk, which is kind of good for this kind of action, since the carrier doesn't spot me. The carrier would spot me, it would obviously not work, which is kind of the entire problem with carriers. Their spotting, their passive impact through spotting, and their uh, very nice negation of your Brisk skill. Like, Brisk just doesn't make sense when there's a carrier, really. You will most likely not have it active a whole lot. I shot, which is debatable. Well, triple overpen, that was really worth it. It's kind of debatable, given the fact that everyone's instantaneously wanking on me, which is the life of a GK or a Preußen, as we know. The moment you're spotted in base, you're the damage sponge of the century. Everyone wants a piece of this pie. But here we have the first cruiser that I can point and click and randomly get damage on. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't, because dispersion says nope. He's probably gonna pop a smoke to turn out. Would be my guess. He also knows that I'm aiming for him. We try again. Since he's not making the turn before I reach the island cover. You can go, 10k. It was 4 overpens again, apparently. These days, we end up getting more overpens than not. I go slow down here a bit. Maybe he gets spotted again. I'd highly doubt it, but hey. One can dream. Yeah, he popped the smoke. Oh, okay. Interesting. He now turned out with the smoke. Okay, well, that was already something I wanted to mention. There is a Chambard over there, and he's already loaded the HE technology against me, which is kind of problematic. You don't really want to have these kind of situations where you're perma-spotted behind the rock because of the carrier. That's like the thing, I would be dark here if there wasn't a carrier permanently flying above me. But it is what it is. The carrier is just passively griefing. Like, he doesn't even have to attack me to spot me. Very fun. And engaging. We're busy implementing rubber duck modes instead of reworking carrier spotting, because apparently carrier spotting isn't an issue. We actually changed the spotting reward to it being kind of like normal damage, so brain damaged carriers that have no hands are now incentivized to fuck you through spotting. So any doo-doo dog can now ruin your game. Okay. I made the turn here, but I'm not gonna make the next island, I think. One overpen there. Turning the turrets. Don't have spotter, so I can't really see where the Seattle is turning. Got my salvo out. I think it's still broad enough. We got 5 overpens. I'm actually kind of losing my mind here. The GK games were already fucking atrocious to play through, right? And now this shit happens, right? It's kinda cracked. Ain't gonna lie, man. Those 5 overpens were a wee bit too much for me to handle, maybe. Because it's like I'm shooting these schmucks flat broadside permanently, and I don't get to punish them. Point and click the Ven, I guess, is the play. These people are pushing in, so I'm gonna turn my guns to that one again. 2 overpens again. Bro, Jesus Christ, can I get something that is not an overpen? It was already an issue with the fucking GK, and now we're having the same troubles with Preussen, which is kinda amazing. At least, you know, like, I kinda also like the ship, even though it's like not the perfect BB. I kinda like it too, because it's just more engaging to click your buttons to shoot more often. Like, you can pew pew more often than in other BBs, which is kinda cool, you know? It's like, the more you get to fire, the more happy you become in a battleship. BB player synapses are engaged by shooting a lot and by getting big damage numbers on the table, so both of them potentially combined is a great way of having fun in World of Warships. Oh, look at this. Guy still like nose in, whatever. It would be good if we kill him. I think he has double perma, so he should be dead. I don't know why he did the move that he did there, but we're sure going to profit off it. I got 1 penetration, but this time the penetration does the same damage as an overpen because it was a gun penetration. We're losing our minds here, slowly but surely. Hope the second game is gonna be better. Well, I mean, this game isn't over yet, so we kinda don't know if it ends up being decent after all. Do I get the kill? Does he get the kill? He gets the kill, whatever. Maybe I can dash for the decap now and brawl a bit, maybe. Given the fact that there's a cruiser, a bunch of cruisers there that I could maybe fuck with. Pretty great that everyone ran from the B side of our map and left it open for the enemy to do whatever they want. We angle towards the Jean Bart. We obviously don't want to eat his reload booster ever on flat broadside. It's not something we want to. We got a penetration. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. Our Kagero... No wait, our Hector is nearly dead. Pretty cool, pretty cool. What we could try is maybe get our non-spec secondaries on the Jean Bart anyways, because I still have the penetration. Stalin died, that's pretty good. I mean, I won't do that much damage with it, but... Hydro. In case there's torpedoes. I got 1 hit there. Dodge the torps. At the cost of a bit of HP, probably, because the Jean Bart is gonna hit me. We don't have spotting, really. Kinda shit. The Cossack is just able to farm me down. We shoot, we immediately angle in. We don't want to use our back turrets here anymore. It's just not worth it, really. Also, I have to dive behind the island again because the Seattle is just sitting there unspotted, which is kinda crazy given the fact how many people we still have alive, and also the fact that we actually have a carrier. I was on a triple fire there. That is very, very good, as you can clearly tell. Being on triple fires is always great. I mean, I get a bunch of secondary damage here, right? Like 4 or 5k. It's worth it. It's worth it. The Cossack insta-fires me again. It's just how Cossack works. You don't really mind being in tier 10 matchmaking because bad stupid battleships like Preussen you can farm anyways, which is cool. Cossack, by the way, I must get DD. I should get into the tier 8 premiums maybe, the ones you can buy. Or the tier 9 ones too. Just so maybe some people get incentivized to actually buy good ships. Oh, the Seattle can still shoot me. Interesting though, like my entire team can't shoot the Cossack. My Nevsky is also like Giga AFK. We will get our heals out here, like we're not in threat of dying now at the moment, like it's fine. I'm also ensuring crossfire on the Ezia, which hopefully ends up doing damage to him, you know. Gonna get fired up here again. Yep, double fire actually, that's super epic. Love it. And now we are just forced to sit on this rock for the eternity of this match. We're going to lose again. There's no way around that one. I get ricochets on the broadside and an overpen, even though he's angled. I don't know what the fuck I'm overpenning really, but hey. I'm really being let down by RNG these games. Like I'm not getting a single good hit. Ah, overpen again. Okay. No hits at all. But apparently he double fires me with his tier 8 carrier again. World of Warships is a great game. I enjoy playing it. Day in, day out. Okay, whatever, dude. I'm just, yeah, well, I guess I'm just a bad player. I guess I just don't deserve to win today. It appears that my team is made out of inbred monkeys every single game. What are my teammates actually doing here? Okay, I have an HE spamming Sevastopol. A somehow nearly dead Nevsky, which I don't get. Like, I don't even get how he lost HP. A nearly dead Enterprise that's stationary, and a Thunderer that sits in base and farms people. I mean, given that team, and also the intelligence of my DDs, actually I'm gonna report them. Please don't touch DDs if you don't have hands for them, please. Jutland and Kagero have top dog concealment, 5-7 and 5-4. And there's barely any raider in the enemy team that can shove. There's actually barely any raider in general, it's only the Seattle. And they still managed to kill themselves on purpose, which is kind of impressive. I mean, the Stalin was around, but the Stalin wasn't ever really in a position to shoot people. So he just killed themselves on purpose. Yeah, well, our Sevastopol will die here. Bringing Sevastopol in general is already kind of criminal if you don't have hands. Even worse. We can just show the same, it's the same captain. I mean, I used it on GK from Preussen. It's the same captain. This one would have helped, I guess, maybe last game. It could have helped a bit, but I would have died anyways because the carrier double fired me and then double fired me again. That's a tier 8 carrier. I mean, it's pretty cool. He just griefs me out even though I play fire prevention. Just goes to show that carriers are maybe not the most balanced class. Also, I'm permanently spotted behind the rock because he's fucking above me with planes. I go Hydro mod on Preussen, as I said, like you should run it. If you want to desperately play these German BBs, then you should run Hydro mod. It's smarter. But in general, if you're short on coal and you're missing ships or commanders, don't waste Hydro on German BBs, really. It doesn't make sense. Well, yeah. Very cool RNG game there. Not a single sit. Maybe it was just my aim, right? Maybe it was just my aim. Next game. No carrier for once. Though we're running against a Smolensk. Annapolis Condor, which is problematic obviously. Like Condor, Annapolis and Kaid are pain to deal with. Because they're very, very well balanced ships. And the Smolensk obviously has this funny weed generator, so he can pop smoke and watch me burn for his relaxation. Yeah, well, I'm trying to get a very good game here, or like, not very good, but I'm trying to get a decent game here, because last game was just a fucking blowout. Was extremely pointless. It's probably extremely pointless to even show it. I went to island, went away from island, went to island again, died. Trying to mitigate incoming fire, but my team was just too busy around me killing themselves. So yeah, at least we can like go dark in this game easier and also reach positions easier. There's no carrier, so I'm not suffering from perma spotting. I mean, German BBs like Schlieffen, Preussen and GK have like atrociously bad air concealment. It's like 12 kilometers on all of them, which means the carrier could strike the Z on my right on the 2 line, for example, and I would be spotted. It's criminal. It's fucking criminal. So yeah. And as you saw last game too, you are the punching bag. Like, people know you're squishy as fuck on the superstructure. People just love to punch you repeatedly and permanently wank on you. So the best way of kind of getting impact is like, I guess, soaking up damage and hoping that RNG works in your favor with these kind of guns. I'd rather prefer playing most other battleships above the Germans. To be honest, I actually prefer playing Colombo. Like, I definitely prefer Colombo over the Germans, because in Colombo you have better disengage tools with the smoke, and your SAP is just a way safer source of damage. Also, yeah, I already talked about it in the Colombo video. The Sigma is shit on it. That's the same on the Germans though, but you get 16 shells on Colombo, which is not that big of an issue anymore than that you have shitty Sigma. On Preussen you have shitty Sigma and you don't get the 16 shells. You only get 8 shells and you have shit Sigma. So it's kind of like you're a shotgun, but you don't get to actually use it as a shotgun effectively. We got a Citadel here. It's amazing. We already start out the game with a way better shot than any of the last games, which is kind of cool. Returning in base. As I said, I want to maybe this time not die like a dog. I'm kind of like playing it more passive. Also, I want to make use of the game not being a carrier game, so I want to maybe brawl something late game, or play the game late game with a bunch of HP. Obviously, this can change fairly quick if the enemy team just dies. And like, statistically I should probably be in a game now where my team steamrolls, because I've witnessed 5 steamrolls on my side now, which I couldn't really counteract. By the way, that's something that I could mention. These games were all losses, right? But I guess I could win 2 or 3 of these games if I play actually good ships. It's like, I'm fairly sure or certain that I'm a decent player in this game. And if even I dodge certain ships just because I'm a burden to my team and not really of assistance, then I would really, really advise people that are less experienced in the game and worse to not also cringe their team out with completely dogshit worthless ships. Like Venesias, Zaos, GKs. Like, you want to be a part of the team, you want to be playing towards a win. How about you don't pick the most useless and worthless ships in existence? That would be actually kind of nice. Especially if you complain about stomps on the weekend and weekend players being dog shit, right? Then you should also in return maybe not play dumb ships on the weekend at the same time. Because I mean, yeah, you can complain as much as you want about your team then when you yourself don't even have the slightest chance of having heavy game impact because your ship just doesn't bring anything. Like, with Preussen I can kinda understand it, because it's like, at least, right, gets the overmatch so you can deal with cruisers. Like with GK, what's the point? Like, seriously, what's the point? You're just a damage pinata. You're a useless damage pinata, and the enemy team, the moment the enemy team has the resemblance of hands and your team is really bad, you're never going to assist your team in winning and coming back into it. Team's gonna die around you, you can't prevent it, and then you're just a damage pinata. If you're not immediately being focused out while your team obviously rather sucks a bunch of dick than doing something about it. Well. Guys angling. The team is very concentrated on the other side here. Oh, never mind. So we're going into the middle now. I kept my HP. We just watched the GK, and I like looked at the GK by the way. Just randomly died. Didn't do anything. Wasn't even a threat to anyone in return. So like, we watched a bunch of enemies be suicidal on our flank. Alsace too, kind of. And now we're just pushing in. Full HP. Off to the middle we go. Popping a heal, so I don't have to DCP it. Keep the DCP. Conde is giga wanking in base. Alsace dies, because he's shit armor, just starts reversing. I mean, I don't know if I can make this gap, really. As we can figure out today together. If Preussen fits through this gap. I mean, the Conde isn't spotted, which is kind of weird. He's not shooting anyone. Not even me. He's in range of me. He could farm me, man. But he doesn't want to, apparently. Oh, there he is. He is shooting me now. And it essentially means the others aren't spotted. I mean, I have the penetration on that range to fuck him. For some reason he's turning in, though. Don't ask me why. Actually, we figured out Preussen fits into this. Ah, we're back to getting permanent overpens. Given though that he turned in, I hit his superstructure. Now he's most likely gonna turn out, right? I mean, he can't be flat broadside for more, right? Yep, he turned out. Potentially we could get like 1 or 2 citadels here. Yep, we got a citadel and a bunch of pens. Somehow you can't get more than 2 sits. We have to focus on the Annapolis and the Haaland. Mostly the Annapolis. Actually, I have to be careful now. Somehow the enemy team went over to this side now. Which means can't get myself into a position where I get farmed by all of them together. Bit of a problem. Okay, I have the Hydro on against potential torpedoes. Oh fuck. Is he like full turning in now? So he would actually be flat broadside if I held the shot? Probably could have gotten a bit more damage if I waited there. I get another shot though. It's kind of like pretty nice with the reload, obviously. That dispersion looks better. But I think my other ship, or my other no, it was me, okay. Well, Annapolis ran it. I mean, his team is kind of losing it on purpose. And here we have the funny engagement with the Smolensk. We're... Why is the Haaland torping me, man? Is it even the Haaland? Let's see, Amagiri. Look at the Smolensk. So it's just like epic gameplay there from him. Just like pops the smoke, sits in it, chills his asshole, informs me. Must be really relaxing for him. Must be really engaging too. Amazing. We love Smolensk players, obviously. Well, all of their cruisers and BBs died. The game is won. There's no coming back into this one. Could maybe blind fire the Smolensk. Wait a minute. Come on, shoot again. The dispersion is so bad that it's not that unlikely that the random... No, wait, he moved out of his smoke for some reason. Wasn't that unlikely that a random shell just citadels him and takes half his HP off. I mean, it's feasible. It's feasible. Shotgun. I mean, he's flat broadside to a Clausewitz, and I'm very concerned why our Clausewitz isn't one-shotting him. Okay. Randomly turns flat broadside. Back into torps and stuff. Don't get it, really. Why and how? He has an engine damage. Is he slowing down to maybe get into his next smoke? I guess so. That is fairly pointless to shoot him, really, huh? not the best sniper, and as long as he doesn't go like... Yeah, maybe that's a potential shot that I could nuke him with. Maybe. We're still dreaming about the citadel through the ass. There you go! Got another sit through the ass. Well, I mean, this one was a bit better. We farmed a little fireproof there too. I don't really want to play these two ships, GK and Preussen, anymore, because I really dislike them when I'm solo. Definitely not a big fan. This game, at least you could see that because you have the fast reload, very good penetration, like if you get multiple shots on broadsides, like the Conde, the Annapolis, the Brindisi, you can get big damage numbers. The ship does have some impact. It's easier also to make use of it than GK. But I'd still prefer other BBs over it, obviously. Tankiness is kind of like 50-50 on it. Mentioned it multiple times now. It's only really good if you get full HP into brawling scenarios. But because if you want to use your back turrets while pushing and shit, you aren't really that tanky. Like it looks hella sus here in port, but the moment you angle up like this, everyone's gonna punch your sides. Yeah, but as said, like in brawling, in theoretical 1v1 scenarios, or if the entire game would be specific, singled out 1v1s, ships like Preussen, GK, Schlieffen, Hanover, especially Hanover, would be hilariously cracked. Sadly, the game is 12 versus 12 though, and sadly the game also features a lot of submarines and carriers these days, so the likelihood of you actually getting into a brawling scenario is very small. So I'd personally advise you people to not try to hunt these very funny brawling scenarios, because you're going to end up suffering through 9 battles before you have that one situation, and I don't really think it's worth it to hunt that high that battleship players apparently want so desperately to brawl in a German BB, just to like kind of grief your team and yourself for 9 other games out of 10. I don't know. For me personally, the hit is not enough there, so I'd rather dodge these ships, unless you play like maybe with a DD and a diff or a triple diff, then you can like kind of whoop them out, it's not that bad. Yeah, that's just it. I guess see you in the next video.